Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. Look at the watch I have with me tonight. It is the Don Draper, and I'm going to do a full review of it, so let us begin. The same friend who lent me the Rolex Explorer also lent me two vintage Omegas to review. And tonight we're going to look at one of those. And in fact, this along with one other vintage watch are my absolute favorites. This one and the Universal Genève Pole Router. And my friend was kind enough to pass along some of the information and interesting facts that he's gathered on this watch so that I can share it with you all. So let's flip the camera around and look at this brilliant vintage watch. Here it is. Absolutely amazing. And this is essentially a Franken watch. I'll explain further as I go along. Beginning with the strap. So this is not the original strap, however, it is a vintage Omega strap. It's extremely thin. It's a little bit terrifying borrowing this because it's so thin. And I've had one other watch with its original strap, and putting that one on for the very first time at the buckle, it ripped like paper. So I've been very gentle with these, although they're probably tougher than they seem. Here we have a vintage Omega clasp on there. These straps are so cool. I love the extreme taper. They go from 18 down to 14, I believe, which just looks amazing on this watch. The lugs are pretty basic, just kind of squarish lugs. And looking at the case, we see a nice, sleek, elegant case there. This is vintage, so it's smaller, 34 millimeters. Now the case, the bezel, and the crown are all original vintage 166.002 parts. However, it's entirely possible that they were assembled from more than one watch. We see the Omega logo there on the crown. Cool shape to that. I love the case shape. That is so great. Now what's interesting about this watch as we go to the case back is my understanding is the case backs on these don't actually open. So to get into this watch, you actually have to remove the bezel and go from the front. There we have the iconic Omega logo there, the Seamaster logo, with the hippocamp engraving on there, or etched on there. And looking at the crystal here, this is actually not an Omega crystal, but an aftermarket replacement. You can see some of the hairline scratches on it. This watch isn't mine, so I haven't buffed those out. So this dial has been repainted with the crosshairs there. This particular combination of hands, markers, and the crosshair may have never been produced by Omega. I believe the pieces that have these crosshairs had different hands and or indices. However, these markers and hands are OEM Omega parts. I don't think I can capture it on camera, but printed on here is T, Swiss-made T, indicating tritium lume. However, it doesn't have tritium, so an L Swiss-made L would have been more appropriate. That is such an amazing looking watch. And operating the crown, this is very smooth. So much more pleasant than the affordable vintage watches that I own. This one feels newer. It's just nice and smooth. We'll pop that out. Now you'll notice that this only has one position, and it does not hack. So to set your date, it doesn't have the quick date set. So you would have to go to midnight, move it forward till it switches, and then move the minutes hand back around to here, and then back forward till it switches again. So I haven't bothered to do that because I feel really weird about moving the hands back and forth over and over again on someone else's watch. So I haven't really bothered with the date. But it's nice and smooth. Watch that date switch over. Ooh, nice satisfying click there. I like how the date window is framed in silver there. Makes it look really nice. Pop that back in. So the caliber that is in this watch is the 5.62. And as for the specifications of this watch, it has a case size of 34 millimeters, 18 millimeter lugs. It has a case height of 11 millimeters and a lug to lug of 40 millimeters. That is absolutely brilliant. All right, let me take my space view off and we'll see what the Don Draper is like when it's on your wrist. There is the Don Draper on my 7-inch wrist. And sadly, this strap is right in between for me. It's a little bit loose on this setting, but with that taper, this buckle doesn't quite want to reach that hole right up there. So I haven't forced it, which means I haven't had a whole lot of wrist time with this thing. Not nearly as much as I would have loved to have had. Man, that is just amazing. Look at that thing. The Don Draper. Gorgeous. As you can see, those hands are loomed. So let's see what happens if I charge them up and turn off the light. So you can barely see it there, but there's some loom on the hands and on the outside tip of the markers. It's very faint though. Not much loom there, but there is a little. So there you have it, the absolutely amazing Omega Seamaster, the Don Draper. Thanks for watching.